was going to do a piece on the Monk debate today, even though everyone else has, but events have conspired that I'm not going to be doing that today because I need to vent. This isn't a pity party or a call to action or anything. It's just I live fairly isolated out in the country, and I just need to splurge and get some of this stuff out. So this morning I wake up and I check my email, and there's a string of messages of a rather negative variety. A lot of bad stuff. And there's not really such a thing as coincidence when it comes to events like this. I don't think so.
That's no mistake. It's an attack!
Now, I'm a contrarian and an obstinate cunt, so when people attack me, it typically puts more fire into my belly and steals my resolve to keep doing what I'm doing, because that's just the way I'm wired. But this time, not so much. And I know that's a bad thing to do. You should never show weakness to trolls or anyone who's out to hurt you. But anyone who's been paying attention knows that I was very, very ill for about 8 months or so, 6 to 8 months. And it's only really recently, in the last month or so, that I've began to recover to a semi-functional state, which is why there has been such a fire hose of content coming out across everything. Because I feel like I need to make up all that lost time to people, and I've been doing fairly well at that. But this morning has definitely knocked me back, and it was difficult to recover to the state that I was in, and then this has been really horrible, because getting to the point that I have been wasn't easy. So the first thing I see when I wake up this morning and I check my email are exactly three and three alone attempts to copyright claim on my channel. Now that will be significant to anyone who knows how YouTube works, because basically 3 strikes, even all at once, and your channel is pretty much going to be taken down. Fortunately, this hasn't happened in this case, and I have lodged appeals. They'll probably just be automated and bounce back, and that's really, unless you're a big channel, you've got a lot of money to burn, that's basically as far as you can take things. So I will mildly inconvenience some drone or bot at Fox headquarters, as it turns out. But these were manually reviewed and flagged up, which means that someone has specifically gone in and done it. The automated systems weren't tripped. I only ever use short clips transformatively, so there shouldn't be any issue, but someone has gone out of their way to submit 3 reports, 3 alone, in an attempt to knock me off YouTube. At least that's 90% likely what has happened here. Then the second thing that I noticed this morning was that the 200-word RPG challenge, which I haven't entered. I've made games for the challenge for the fun of it for myself, which are on my blog, but I didn't enter because I offered prizes. I saw that they were doing this. I thought it was a cool endeavour. It's an interesting challenge for RPG designers to get something down into that kind of size. So I thought, I want to support this. I'll give them some game material to put out. I think it was one of my Adventure Seeds books and Ace of Hearts, which is a kind of collaborative story game set in the Old West, where you're basically running a whorehouse on the frontier, and you have to deal with the various challenges that confront that and the town. And that's all. I guess that material might upset some people, but you'd have to be hypersensitive. But yeah, so I got an email saying we can't offer your prizes. I'd already sent them the files. This had already been on the cards for weeks, so especially with the other thing happening with YouTube, it seems rather suspicious. I mean, even if you have a beef with me for whatever reason, why would you want to deny people prizes. Why would you seek to sabotage that? Why?
Hey, you tell me, how come it's not safe to walk in Central Park, huh? Or give a stranger a lift anymore? Because the world's full of crazy people, Jack. Hoodlums.
And then I discover that someone has been trying to get the Gore books removed from RPG Now, Drive-Thru RPG, which is, you know, the main sales point for PDFs online.
Oh dear. How pathetic. Yes, I anticipated that.
Fortunately, after the way I and other designers were attacked using this method to try and deny us a living, basically, we saw this coming, and the Gore books have been essentially checked to be sure that they're compliant and have been whitelisted. So that's not going to get anywhere, fortunately. But it's still worrying, right? Because I have a responsibility to everyone who's been involved in producing those books. I have a responsibility to the licensor. I have a responsibility to John Norman. This is pen name, but you know. And they're happy with me. They think I've done a very good job. They think it's a quality book. I'm producing quality material. They're happy with it. They've renewed the license with me. So, yeah, and they've been very, very forgiving and wonderful about my illness and the impact that's had on releases and so on. So everything there is hunky-dory and fine. And, you know, you don't have to buy it. So what the entire and actual fuck is the problem with other people enjoying a fantasy, even if you think it's problematic or whatever. So what? It's never going to get past people typing away online or playing in Second Life or sitting around a table and rolling dice. You know, it's not... I just don't understand this entire mindset at all.
Do you expect mercy here?
And I'm not going to name names, because that's the kind of thing that these kind of people do. But what seems to have set them off appears to be the fact that I paid for some advertising for the Korean books on the front pages and the category pages on RPG Now and Drive-Thru. And some people saw one, and that seems to have set them off. And the other thing is I started using LinkedIn more. I haven't really used it before because there's not really any traction there, but I'm trying to continue to build, and I want to be on there primarily so that I can place job offers for things that I'm offering onto there, you know, like art jobs, bit of freelancing here and there. I'm not really looking for employment there. I'm looking to employ people on part-time bases from time to time. And apparently because of the algorithms or some careless clicking on my part, invitations to link together on LinkedIn went out to some people who are diametrically opposed to me. I can't explain why, for fear of giving the person away, but they've gone through a change in their life, or which meant that I didn't recognise who they were, or I would have never even bothered. But they're a person that I haven't really personally attacked. Indeed, I've praised the fact that they go out of their way to actually make things rather than just whine and censor other people. But they seem to have taken a completely different perception of anything I've done. We disagree over censorship, we disagree over politicization and things, we disagree over tactics. And that, to me, doesn't seem like an absolutely terrible sin. You know, I've even bought stuff of theirs in the past, so I don't really know what's going on there. And the other thing was that the fact that Gore appeared on the front page was horrifying to someone, and so they put in a complaint. They probably didn't get their way, because, like I say, I anticipated that. So their response seems to have been something like, "Look, this is just exhausting, and I am not this caricature they've put together about me at all. I don't like to toot my own horn, so I'm not going to, but I do a lot of great work for charity." But they try and disrupt that as well. You know, like I said, I was trying to give prizes to this 200-word RPG challenge because I want to encourage people to get into creating things, because I want to boost the RPG community, and they've scuppered that. Every year I do the Zealot Scholarship, and someone does their level best to sabotage it every year. Messaging people, oh, do you know this person's a misogynistic, racist, whatever else, all these things that I'm not. You know? And it is just fucking exhausting. I am tired of it. Even when I'm trying to do something good. You know, the Zealot Scholarship, it helps, you know, kids in education trying to get through a difficult system with their fantasy art, their science fiction art, their illustration, which is generally frowned upon by the art establishment in colleges and universities and so on. Or it helps out people who are artists who are disadvantaged. You know, it lets them keep food on the table for a month or something. And you want to take that away from them? You want to prevent me giving free stuff to people? You want to take away people's joy just because you don't like something, or you have this bizarre image of me that you've concocted. It's exhausting, and it doesn't normally get to me, but right now that it is. Especially all at once. Someone has clearly made some kind of concerted attempt to fuck with me, and just why? Yeah, even the strongest, most resilient person, with the issues that I have, and with such a precarious income, being constantly under threat by these people, yeah, that would wear on anybody, and it's definitely wearing on me, and I've just had enough of it. Why can't you people just fuck off? You know, all I've ever advocated for, really, is that people be left alone to make the things that they love without being censored and hounded and treated like shit. That doesn't seem like a radical manifesto to me, and yet you wouldn't let it lie. Pissed off, Zang.
Just remember what old Jack Burton does when the earth quakes and the poison arrows fall from the sky and the pillars of heaven shake. Yeah, Jack Burton just looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Give me your best shot, pal. I can take it."